Good afternoon. We're going to talk about week 5. And week 5, I will say this. I'm always hopeful that I'll get out in like 3 minutes, but I usually babble for about 6. So in week 5, we start with chapter 4 of the text asking the right questions. And this one's about finding the reasons that people are using in an argument. So one thing to remember at this point in the semester, we're not really worried about like if the reason is good or bad. We're at the point where we want to find the reasons, and then later on we'll learn how to evaluate them. So for right now, just keep in mind that we're practicing identifying the reasons, not like saying whether or not we think they're bad or good. And you're going to have some practice on the next assignment. So one of the things I like about the text is that, and you've seen this in a couple of chapters already, is the way they sort of break out these indicator words. Like in this case, for finding reasons, it'll be something like, because of the fact that. Okay, that's kind of awkwardly worded, but I think most people would say because. But what I like about this is it's not only giving you some clues about when you're reading an argument, or hearing somebody speak, it also is giving you some tips about your own communication style. So these are things you want to include when you write or when you give a presentation, because you want your audience to understand what you're saying, and you have to help them understand, and you help them by including indicator words that cue them to say, okay, now they're going to tell me a reason. Okay, so this is important. It's not just about your reading of other people, it's about how you communicate as well. I did have a couple of comments on the discussion, so we'll see how far I can keep this up, but generally I'll grade them on probably around Monday or Tuesday of the following week. And some of you have gotten some comments where I've said, be sure to proofread your entry. And the best way to do this probably is to originally type it in Word. I think D2L will give you spelling, alert you about spelling errors and stuff like that. But I think probably Word has a better spelling and grammar check for you. When I'm grading your discussion, I'm actually copying and pasting each of your comments into a Word document, and then I see right away when there's an error. So, same sort of stuff. Make sure you capitalize the first words of a sentence. Make sure you've spelled correctly. A lot of times it's the spelling's okay, but you've used the wrong form of a word. So, like, for example, the word there. Sometimes you've meant to type in THEIR, and it's typed in THERE. And so that sort of stuff you've got to watch out for. And another thing is that you can let D2L tell you when there's a post in the forum, so that you don't always have to I need to check in and see if anyone's posted so that I can respond, at that point. What you can do is, if you are in D2L and you go to the group's topic for the week, so I kind of went back to week 3, and you click this little tiny arrow next to the title of group topic, and it gives you these options, and one of the options is to change the display, which is viewing the topic in grid view, which is how D2L was set up. I think this changed, I want to say, close to 4 years ago. It's been a while since it changed this. Or maybe it was just 2 years ago. Anyway, you can change it if you want to. But at this point, you can just click on the word subscribe, and then you've subscribed to any posts that happen in that topic. You will get an email alert, and it'll look something like this. Now, this is an actual email alert, so I've kind of I've tried to make it anonymous for you. So I get a message from D2L, and the email subject line is telling me who has posted, and then it'll tell me whether or not it's a new thread or a response to another post. And in this case, this one is a response to another student's post. So the other day, somebody asked me a question in the the question thread, and I was able to respond pretty quickly because I had my email up and I saw right away that it was a new post, and then that it was in the the question thread. So I knew that it was something I wanted to look at right away. So you'll see that the subject line is about what kind of post, or if it's a new thread, and then it puts the text of the post in there for you. And then also, is it giving you like the original post? So in this case, somebody did an original post, and then this other student came back and responded to it. And then if you want to just go straight to D2L from your email, you can click on the view reply, and it takes you straight to D2L. What I like about it is, in particular, when I've only got my phone on me, at least I can keep track of what the students are posting. Now, it will surprise you not at all to hear this. I'm subscribed to everything, so I'm seeing every post. So you won't end up seeing all that many, but I do think it's one way to kind of like, instead of like, oh my gosh, did I check D2L today to see if somebody posted? You can let D2L tell you. And I graded your first round of journal entries, and I was very pleased with them. I thought they were excellent. Just a couple of comments on that is, some people were like, oh, I don't know if this is too personal. Just remember, in your journal entries, the only people seeing them are you, and you're the person writing them, and it's writing about yourself, and me. So I'm fine with personal. And then the other note is just to just to put a space in between any paragraphs. It makes it a little easier for me to read it. Okay, great. I look forward to another exciting week.